everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Hannah from Plans by Han. I'm so excited to set up my year in pixels in my back pages of my Passion Planner. It is one of my favorite things to do every year to really track my running, specifically how many miles I run. And since having a baby, I haven't really had the need to track this because I haven't really been running. But now I'm finally healthy enough to start getting back into running. So I'm really excited to do that, which is why I'm getting these back pages set up. So right now I'm just cutting them out. I said this in my last video when I was doing the meal prep inserts, but it's really true about the small Passion planners. The inserts are just on the bigger side, even when you print them out for the small size planner. So you have to really cut them down as much as you can in order to get them to fit the way you want it. So I'm just cutting really close to all of the edges to make sure that it'll fit and give some room for stickers or washi or however I want to decorate it, which you can't do back pages without doing a little bit of decoration, in my opinion. I really think that decorating your planner gives you a kind of reason to open it every day. At least for me, that's how it works. It gives me a reason to open my planner, a reason to feel happy when I open my planner. I think that's just kind of how I encourage myself to be productive when I feel like I don't need to. So, anyways, I personally want to cut it down so I can add some washi and other things to it. So looking at the year in pixels, you'll see that there are numbers for the day of the month that go down, and then across the top are the months. So you have January through December, so 1 through 12, and then I believe the numbers for the months, the day of the month goes from 1 to 31. So you might not use them all for every single month because some months have more or less, but yeah, it really just depends on the month. But if that bothers you, then I'm sorry, but that's how it works. It has never really bothered me. Like, I don't feel like, oh, I missed that day just because I know, oh, that day, that month had less days than the other months. So I'm just going to turn after my meal prep back pages, which if you want to see how I did those, you can look at my other video, my meal prep back inserts video, to see how I set all of that up in my back pages and in my weekly. But today we are looking at my year in pixels. So I'm doing two because I don't just track how many miles I run. I also like to track how long my run was for the amount of miles that I ran. So on my left, I'll be putting the miles and tracking those. And then on my right, I'll be tracking the time. So yeah, that's kind of how that works for me. Yeah, I'm just trimming the top because I don't have a straight cutter here. When I moved to Hawaii, you kind of have to be very picky with what you bring moving overseas because you can't just pack a U-Haul and drive it. So you gotta bring everything you own basically in a suitcase or ship it. And my straight cutter did not make it. So if you know of good places to buy a straight cutter in Hawaii where we do not have a Michael's or Joann's or anything like that, drop that in the comments and I will be very grateful. But yeah, so I did the best I could, but the edges aren't completely straight, but it's fine. So yeah, like I said, on the left I'll have my miles and on the right I'll have the time for how long I ran based on the miles. So this is my glue tape, double-sided glue tape that I use, and I just love it. it works so well. Like it just, it's so pleasing just to be able to roll it on and then it sticks and I don't have to think about it. And the corners don't roll up. Like, guys, this is the new adult glue stick in my mind. Like, you know, when you're a kid and you use a glue stick and you're like, whoa, this is so much better than liquid glue. This is how I feel about this double-sided taper glue, whatever it is, dispenser. Like, it's the adult glue stick. So anyways, so I'm doing that and then lining up the page to kind of make sure it fits and then pushing it down. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. I've been practicing my calligraphy and hand lettering, just really trying to be able to do that well. I think it's important to continue to grow and like hone your craft. Like if this is something you love, keep going at it. And for me, I just love planning and creating aesthetic spreads. And for me, the next step in growth was learning hand lettering and calligraphy. And so, yeah, I'm practicing. If you guys know of any good like journals or things that could help me, please let me know in the comments. I'm learning just as much as you guys are. I feel like, you know, if you're not always learning, maybe you need to start. Like, that's how we grow and become better people, is by learning and continuing to grow in that way. So it's kind of hard to see in the video, but the like key, so the side where I wrote miles and I'm doing these boxes, is dot grid. And so I'm using that to kind of be my guide for the boxes that I'll color in with the colors that I'll be filling out the year in pixels with, based on miles and time. And I really like that because then all my boxes get to look pretty and uniform and the same, which is really fun. Man, I'm having like a really hard time picking colors. I don't know why. Like, I was going through and trying to find the colors that I wanted to do for this back pages spread, and I really ended up just choosing random ones. Like, we'll see what this year in pixels look like. I think it'll look really interesting, because it'll just be a bunch of random colors, and I don't know, that's kind of fun and different. So I am adding washi. I really enjoy Simply Gilded. Their washi is some of my favorite. I just love the bows. And their washi just has really nice pinks and like ombre colors to them, at least the ones I've used, and so I just love how that looks. And this thin washi fits perfectly along the borders, so it gives a little, you know, a little pizzazz, a little decoration, and will encourage me to open to it every day when I track my miles. I thought about adding some thicker foil washi, but decided to go with a neutral pink to match the Simply Gilded. And this is just to add a little bit of something in the space of the key that I'm not going to use, because I'm not going to use all of that space to put like what colors and stuff I'm using for how many miles or time or whatever. So just wanted to add a little something there to fill up some of that empty space. I also want to add some like a quote sticker or something that would just like a little encouragement, you know, like something just that is a little encouraging that would keep me going. And so something that has always encouraged me is the idea of being a work in progress. Like, there's no such thing as perfection. Like, nobody's perfect. So I like to remind myself that, because I'm definitely like a perfectionist. Like, I like to say I'm a recovering perfectionist. I am working towards being more flexible, more just like okay with mistakes, especially when it comes to my planning and coming out of having a baby. Like, I'm not going to be at the same place I was at with running. Like, I probably won't be able to run a mile in the same time I would have been able to before being pregnant. And so I'm going to have to work back up to that. So it's hard to think about, but it's how it is. And I'm going to do my best. I am a work in progress, and I'm going to really try to keep that mindset as I go into it, because it can be really easy to be disappointed in yourself or feel like you should be doing better when, girl, you're doing what you can. Like, you're doing your best. So that's something I just like to have as a reminder, and opening this up every day and coloring in that box. Like, I don't want to ever feel bad about myself or bad about how much I ran or the time. And so I really think that that encouragement will help. So anyways, tangent there, but I just think it's really important to keep that in mind. Also, like, I am going to probably be starting at like running and walking, so doing interval training to make sure that I don't overdo it and hurt myself. And so my times will be kind of all over the place in terms of since I'll be walking some of the way. A mile might take longer than it would if I was just running. Same with 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. So I'm gonna start with like thinking a mile might take me anywhere between like 10 minutes or so, going between running and walking. And then I want to work up to about 7 minutes running. And then who knows, I could do better than that. I don't know. We'll see. But that's my goal for right now, is to get there. And so those would be the times for 1 mile. And then now I'm writing down the times for 2 miles. So 20 minutes, 18 minutes, 14 minutes. And so going in that direction of just like doubling that, because you're adding that extra mile on there. So yeah, if you can run 2 miles in 8 minutes, like 4-minute mile, that's good. Like that's good. That's crazy good. But yeah, I cannot do that. Even before being pregnant, running a 4-minute mile was not something that I could do. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with working back to a like 7-minute mile. I tried to use my whiteout because that was supposed to be 40 minutes, not 30 minutes. But I'm gonna have to go buy more whiteout because apparently I am out. And I tried for a crazy, interesting, long amount of time. So, bear with me here. I really wanted that whiteout to work and then had to eventually give up. But yeah, I earlier was talking about like choosing my colors, and I think a lot of people want to have a specific design when it comes to urine pixels, and so they think about the colors that they're going to use and try and kind of create like almost a design or pattern with it. I am not that kind of person. I like to see the chaos. I like to see the crazy all over the place like colors, and it's just kind of like my life. Like, my life is crazy all over the place, like in the best way possible. Just having a baby and having a 4-month-old, like yeah, life is crazy. It's crazy adjusting to it, but it's been such a great experience so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So, I love coloring in things with the Zebra mild liner brush pens. They are just absolutely amazing. Highly recommend. Also, the Super Tips from Crayola. I remember when I got Super Tips for the first time, and my husband and family were like, why are you buying like kid markers? And Super Tips are so good for beginners in lettering or people who want to get better with their handwriting, and they're just really easy to control. And that was something that I really wanted to get in order to be better at those things. And I was like, they are the adult kid markers. Like, even, adults can use them too. And I just thought it was so funny, like people's reactions to us planner people who don't fully understand the love of pens or stickers or just journaling and planners in general. Like, I don't know. Some people take offense to the reactions of other like people who don't understand, but I think it's funny. I've like shown my pen collection to people, and I've been like, oh yeah, these are my pens, these do this, these do that. And they're like, whoa, what? Like, this is crazy. You have so many. I'm like, oh, but they all like, they're all different. And it's just interesting seeing like, they don't understand. But I fully encourage everyone to give planning a try. I'm like, you never know if you'll like it. You'll never know if maybe it'll speak to you, or journaling like has this huge change in your change on your life. And I just think everyone should give it a try at least once. Just see if like paper planning or journaling like gives you some kind of creative outlet, because that's where all of us were, like us planners, like we had to at one point make the decision to give it a try. And I'm so glad I did. Like, planning has changed my life and like giving me a creative outlet that I never would have had if I hadn't tried it. So it's definitely worth it. But yeah, I mean, I've only been seriously planning for a couple years now, and I'm still learning about how all of these things work. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying connecting with the community and learning more about just everyone and their stories. Like, I've been doing these Instagram lives, interviewing different planners and how they got into planning, what goes into choosing their planners for the year. Wow, just like so much that we've talked about. If you're curious at all on like tips for starting a YouTube channel, if you're a planner, starting a planner Instagram, or even just starting like the planner community, I highly recommend checking out my Instagram lives. But yeah, here it is. These are my year in pixels. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to me in my video. Yeah, I hope this encouraged and inspired you. Let me know below if you're going to give it a try, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.